Always thinking of the patient first. Everything else comes secondary to that.
Started as somebody's dream. I was 4 years old when that started. Down in Pontiac, in a little small house, we had 2 garages. My dad put in one small little room where he would see patients, half of the garage. And I can remember the struggles. I can remember my mom being nervous about everything. My dad had worked with 2 physicians that were from Bay City, Dr. McFarland and Dr. Martin, both of them who have recently just passed. And they said, do you think you'd ever start an office up here? We actually left our house. We lived in a motorhome all summer long. My mom, my dad, my 3 brothers, and my sister at Bay City State Park while my dad started our first Bay City office. And then he bought a house up here. That was not easy. that was crazy.
I would have been 1 at that time. So my earliest memories of Oakland were probably when I was around 6 or 7, and my first memories were if I'd be sick from school, my mom would bring me to the office. Really now that she's passed on, I really have a true appreciation of how well she ran the business, and it came to be where I think it was the only thing keeping her alive towards the end of her life, because she loved seeing her kids involved in it. She loved all of her employees, watching them grow and mature, and I'm very appreciative of what she did and can have a much better understanding of that from where I sit now. I didn't get to work with my dad a whole lot, so he retired I think in 1995, 96, somewhere in that area, and I was graduating high school at that time.
When you're here, it seems like everybody here that you work with is basically family. You get used to it after being, that long. That's just what it seems like. It doesn't seem like a job.
It truly was founded from grassroots. I used to listen to Vivian speak about, she had Corey and all the kids, little kids, and she would tell us, says, there were times I don't know where we're going to get our food from. And they worked and they worked and they worked and they worked. It's not a corporate feel. It's a family feel.
They've always had my back. They've always done good by not only me, but my family. You get involved with people's lives. You become part of their families also. I mean, it's not just a, hi, how you doing, see you later type of thing. You're involved with most of these people in the community for years. So you build relationships with people, and that's what I appreciate.
The talent that the people in this company have and bring together and collaborate on, you're just not going to find it better anywhere else.
Our company is second to none in the region. I have been around enough and seen out in the industry, I would put our company up against anybody.
Caring people, changing lives, it's not just a phrase. They really do mean that. They stand by that.
We are caring people, changing lives. We come to work every day and we literally, if you're hurting, we're hurting. If you feel something, we feel it. We want to help you fix it.
Doing the right thing for the right patient at the right time. That's kind of the culture here. From the owner of the company to the secretary in Mount Pleasant to the girl that works in Alpena. They're all there for one thing, to make sure that patient gets the right device at the right time.
Now all I'm doing is just giving him a little side to side. He's doing all the leg.
He's pushing you.
He is pushing me. All the leg work is on him.
The culture is really a place of innovation and a place that we can truly share our gifts and helping people. And each person has their individual strengths with that. And Oakland has really been a place where we can foster those strengths and bring them together.
We treat all of our patients with respect and compassion. We had a whole remodel a couple years ago. We built a giant state-of-the-art gym just for our patients, just to come in and walk.
Oakland currently has a solo step harness to help our amputees walk in our gym. Insurance doesn't pay enough visits for physical therapy. Normally when patients have their amputation, their physical therapy is used up in just gaining the strength and range of motion that they need, so by the time they have a prosthesis, they are out of therapy visits and they can't learn to walk with their prosthesis. So our prosthetists have devoted their time because they want to see their amputees have the best outcome.
There's nothing like seeing a patient walk for the first time when they get their new prosthesis.
It's definitely new. Usually you're taking measurements and a clear plastic check socket's being made, and then that's what you fit on the patient, figure out if it fits okay, and then you go to a final carbon fiber socket from that. Whereas in that situation, yeah, we're literally just taking the carbon fiber or fiberglass and putting it right on the patient and molding it right on them, which is very unique.
So you hear the click, tells you the leg's locked on. Can't be taken off now. Wow. I feel a lot taller than senior.
Yeah, no one's seen you stand up yet.
I got a little here. Okay, so we're gonna lead with the prosthesis.
Okay.
Short step, doesn't have to be real long to start with. When you get it out here.
When you got a crew like we got here that can take care of that and help the people like Corey, he's big on it. He is super good as a prosthetist and as a person with the patient. He gets them through it with very little effort. It doesn't take him much, and they're up and moving and they're happy, and that means the world right there. It really does.
If we're not changing the lives of other people, then we really don't exist. It's really the people inside of Oakland that truly make Oakland impactful of their communities.
They care about the community because there's always people out there that need help. There's always people out there that need assistance. And it doesn't even have to deal with prosthetics or orthotics. It's about helping the community and people in need. We worked with Camp Fishtails, helping the disabled children go to camp. We had a huge superhero ball for that. That was neat.
The patient gets what they need, and they're not going to get shortchanged because of the profit margin somewhere else. So if the patient needs a certain foot or a certain device, they're going to get that if that's what it's going to take.
I genuinely don't think that you'll find another orthotic and prosthetic company that cares about patients the way that we do. It's amazing. And I learned that from everyone here. Just everyone genuinely cares about the patients.
There's particularly a few of us that have kind of grown up here, started working here in our 20s, through our 30s, and now we're all in our 40s. Everybody has fun together. We really are kind of like family/friends. I've got to see some patients that had their amputation, got their first prosthesis, and then eventually become my friend and another employee.
From the moment I met Wanda at the surgeon's office to get my staples out, and she started talking, oh, we gotta hook you up with my brother, and she knew immediately that him and I were gonna kind of hit it off. You're not gonna find any group of people that are gonna try harder to do what's best for you, not necessarily what's best for your insurance.
You're fighting with an insurance company really hard to try to get someone their brace or get part of their brace covered, whichever it may be, that they know that you took all of that time out of your day to try to do what you could to help them. Just hearing that thank you makes you it makes you feel so warm. Like, it just makes you feel so good because you know that you did something and it meant something to them. I love that. I love it.
You're not a victim to begin with. God puts us through this stuff to do something for other people. And if I can show people how to walk, we're on it. My amputation was a scheduled amputation, blood clots. We were on 7 when I went into the hospital, and by the time it ended up, we were at 11 blood clots. We couldn't get a pulse, so we just let my leg start dying. So I knew what to expect, that I was going to be missing another body part. Oh, you know, I have 2 fake boobs, breast cancer. You know, you got to have a good attitude. If you don't have a good attitude, you're not going to walk. None of this is going to work. It's not going to go with your head.
This is the silicone interface that fits against the skin, so decreases friction and shear, and also provides a link between the prosthesis and the residual limb. It's got to make it past the seal point. There's a little rubber seal in there. Once you get past there, it'll roll up just like your other liner. Since you have no pin, we need to make sure that the socket seals off against this fin here, okay?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna hold your prosthesis on.
Yay, no more tumor.
Well, I think you're gonna miss that adjustment.
No, I'm not.
Somewhere in there we got a little...
See the tightener thing?
I think...
the dial? That sticks way out. And it takes up to like 2 inches of your jean material, so you're getting jeans on is like,
About where we end up.
So this would be able to just slide right in.
Before she had a locking system which uses a threaded pin, and then there's a lock built into the prosthesis with a release button. Biggest advantage is increase in linkage between the residual limb and the socket. So in a suction system, we tend to have more grip from here down as opposed to when the pin is all the way in the bottom. So mechanically, you're at a disadvantage in the old system.
The first one, it would clunk, clunk. Then this last one that I had, it was still good, but it wasn't as nice as this one feels.
Once we get past that point, then we'll adjust the height, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so real kind of careful. I want you to just take a couple of steps, okay?
Okay.
If it feels like it wants to slip, you need to let me know.
No.
Okay,
See how I like wobbly?
Okay, have a seat. Let's get this raised. Socket's a little big, so even though it's holding on well, the proximal portion or the top part of the socket is loose, so it's causing some rotation when she walks. Make it smaller. So got some new measurements today, and we'll see what happens.
This one feels way nicer. Out of all the other 2, I like this one. It's like I go, I love it.
Just to kind of break this down for you, the process is going to be, we're going to fill this. Then once the plaster is hardened, we'll be able to liberate the old check socket from the new plaster mold. Then we'll modify that, do a 3% reduction, and use that to pull a new check socket. We're just using this to build a new model to start with, so we don't have to start with a fresh cast. So we already have, essentially, we already have the trim lines built in. We know about where all these need to be in the final. So starting over, we would lose that. So it just makes more sense to just fill this and modify this. Is less work and more accurate of an end product. Obviously, when you're an amputee for life. So the name of the game is keeping up with your body as you fluctuate volume. You know, you're a different size in the morning than when you go to bed. So imagine that, but throughout a lifetime.
This will be a little taller compared to the old one. And the reason for it is we're making up the difference now from the connectors. So you can see this one, the lock is built in. So you see here. So it drops this down, you know, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So now, because this suction one doesn't have it, we have to raise the overall length to accommodate for that. So this is just going to help that seal stick out a little bit. Okay. Square up. We gotta go a long way.
Over the last couple of decades, technology has increased rapidly in prosthetics. Microprocessor knees have been a big part of that, giving safety and confidence to users, allowing clinicians to deliver new levels of value and usage of their prosthesis to their patients. With the addition of power and the computing that we have in the Power Knee, we have an opportunity to increase what's available to users and what they can expect from their prosthesis. Power Knee looks great on the outside, but it's what's on the inside that makes the real difference. The ability of using the motor inside to create motion as opposed to just controlling motion is what is the differentiator, the thing that will transform what people can expect from their prosthesis.
The part of the job I love is making somebody love their leg again. A generation or two ago, people were expected to cover it up. You know, if there was something wrong with you, you're expected to kind of conceal it, cover it up, pretend like it doesn't exist. And, you know, they've shown that does a lot of psychological damage to one's self-esteem, and that bleeds into every other issue in your life, ultimately. So being able to have these people show off their mettle, as it were, it really does improve their quality of life.
This one is a little less complicated. This is just a prototype lens right now, just kind of a proof of concept. It's going to look a little better than that, hopefully, when we're done. Not as wrinkly. This one's got more things.
If it looks cool or you're happy with the way it looks, you're just going to be more prone to show it off, which means you're going to be more prone to get out there, which means you're going to be more prone to use it. You're going to be more active. You're going to be walking more. I mean, it just lends itself to so many other positive things other than it just looks cool.
The main thing I just want people to know is just knowing where Oakland came from, knowing that very small start, how much heart went into this company and still goes into it. That's what I think Oakland is. To me, it's family. It's part of who I am. It's part of my family legacy. It's part of my kids grew up with it. Oakland is almost just like a person. It's family.
You have a choice as a patient. Just because your surgeon or physician may send you somewhere doesn't mean that you don't have a say in your care. We're truly a specialized facility, and we take a lot of pride and care in how we take care of those patients, and it's what we do, and we do it better than anybody else.